I found myself, suddenly, uncontrollably, sobbing. Hi, I'm Jesse, and I have depression. Also, hypersomnia. I'm hoping this video will help other people in tech, and I guess outside of tech too, suffering from depression and other mental health issues, to understand that they aren't alone and there is help and hope out there. This video title is inspired by the book How to Keep House While Drowning. To paraphrase its premise, not completing your OKRs, having unanswered emails piling up, and getting friendly pings about code reviews is not a moral failing. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person. Of course, it is a job and you can get fired, which doesn't help with the stress. But it would be pretty silly to ignore that fact. So please, find help, take advantage of resources and accommodations, and go on medical leave if you need to. And remember, losing your job isn't a moral failing. It wouldn't make you a bad person or a failure as a person. It would make me a bad person or a failure as a person. This isn't a self-help video though. Mostly, this video is a story. Back in March 2020, there was a life-changing event, the consequences of which are still being felt to this day. My second child was born. This was unfortunate timing, because who declared COVID-19 a pandemic shortly after she was born? That's right, the World Health Organization did that. All of our wonderful plans for surviving a newborn and a 2.5-year-old, daycare, help from family and friends, and of course, not being in a terrifying global pandemic of a novel virus that shuts down most of society, all ruined. It was stressful, and it was heartbreaking, but life went on. And then one day, at the end of 2021, seemingly out of nowhere, I found myself, suddenly, uncontrollably, sobbing. When that passed, I was left feeling generally sad and completely drained. I thought it was stress, fatigue, or burnout. I went to bed early for the next few days, and the feelings started to pass. They came back, though. Work was hard. Everything was hard. Most days I was lucky if I even did my code reviews. But I had an appointment with my sleep doctor. I was going to get this fatigue thing sorted out. Maybe change up my medication? So I told her my symptoms, and she told me that no, it sounds like depression, and I should get that checked out. Luckily, I was able to see my family doctor soon after, and yep, major depressive disorder. Ooh, and some anxiety. I got a prescription for some antidepressants, a letter for sick leave, and off I went to start my new and exciting life. The start of my leave was rough. I spent a lot of time in bed and staring at my bedroom clock. I also felt guilt and frustration because I thought it was taking me too long to find therapy. Turns out finding mental help is hard when you're suffering from mental health problems. Then, one day, something happened. I got annoyed. My sister-in-law was going to bring my oldest child to the zoo. And I just knew she was going to buy her a stuffed animal. We have too much stuff as it is. We don't need more things. Where's it even going to go? It's just going to clutter up our house. Then, it occurred to me. Maybe somebody buying my child a stuffed animal, something that she would be very excited about, wasn't a bad thing. This was a new perspective. And from this new perspective, I was able to look back and notice that maybe this depression thing had been building in me for a long time. Maybe I'm not actually a grumpy person. Maybe things don't actually have to be hard. This was a good day. The first I'd had in a long time. My leave went on. I started therapy. I drew a bunch of fish. I started making YouTube videos. I had some good days. I had some bad days. Eventually, I started to feel ready to go back to work. So I made plans for a gradual return starting July 2022. I was feeling confident, and I was feeling excited, and I promptly got COVID. I also got some exciting post-COVID symptoms of fatigue and some serious brain fog. The brain fog was the worst part, I think. It felt like I just couldn't think. I took some extra time to recover, but my confidence and momentum were shot. I probably should have gone back on leave, but I didn't. There were other times when I really should have gone on leave, but I didn't. But honestly, I was doing better than I was before. Worlds better than before I was diagnosed. I felt like I was making progress. I was getting better. Yes, there were setbacks. At least one work-related panic attack. But there was also some joy in work again. So how am I now? Actually pretty good, I think. I'm still doing regular therapy, and I'm still on antidepressants. I had a while of middling okayness with dips into not-so-okayness. Eventually, I realized that wasn't good enough, and talked to my doctor, who tweaked my medication a bit, and that made a huge difference. I don't know if I'm back to what I would have once called normal, but I have way more ups than downs now, and I don't feel like I'm ruining my kids with my irritability. I hope that sharing my experiences, thoughts, and advice, that I'll help some people. If you're in a dark place, I hope you're not in a dark place. But if you are, I hope I can be of some help. Bye for now, and please take care of yourself.